The National Council, which was about to be dissolved in May 1795 while Napoleon was in Paris, instigated a revolt in Paris to prevent the passage of a decree requiring two-thirds of its members to be re-elected as members of the new legislature. General Paul de Barras, who was entrusted with full power by the National Association, entrusted the responsibility for suppression to his right hand. Napoleon, who saved the Republic of the National Council from danger by defeating the rebels.
Napoleon became the commander of the French army, and from then on, he became aware of all the political trends in France and began his political career as an advisor on military affairs in the new governor's government. Napoleon got to know Josephine Touche de la Patrie, the widow of General Alexandre de Beauharnais, with 2 children, and the mistress of her boss, General Varus. She was Napoleon's first partner, and a new life opened for him.
He was recognized by the Governor-General for disbanding a communist group led by François Babou and Italian Filippo Buonarroti, and in March 1796, he was appointed commander of the Italian expeditionary force of his choice.
Arriving at the command post in Nice 2 days after his marriage to Josephine, March 3, 1796. He found out that 30,000 of the 43,000 men were actually unskilled. On March 28, 1796, he delivered a speech to the soldiers. Soldiers, you are ragged and hungry. Soldiers, do not lose courage and faith. Napoleon launched an attack on April 12 and advanced to Turin, Italy, defeating the Austrian and Sardinian forces one after another.
At the request of King Vittorio Amadeo III of Sardinia, a peace treaty was signed in Paris on May 15th, annexing Nice and Soubise, which had been occupied by France since 1792. Napoleon continued to fight against Austria and seized Milan, but could not go further from Mantua. And while his army besieged Mantua, he fought against the Duke of Parma, Duke of Modena, and Pope Pius VI until a truce was signed. The Italian patriots, centered on Buonarroti, tried to make Italy a republic, but Buonarroti was arrested for participating in Babie's failed plot to overthrow the governor's government.
Since then, Bonaparte paid attention to the Italian political system, restricting the freedom of the Italian patriots, and establishing a republic in Lombardy but carefully monitoring its leaders. In October 1796, the Republic of Cisalpina was formed by annexing the regions of Modena and Emilia along with the French-occupied Papal States of Bologna and Ferrara. An expeditionary force was sent to reclaim Corsica, from which the British forces had withdrawn. The Austrian army attacked 4 times to save Mantova, but Napoleon defeated them each time, and advanced to Vienna, the capital of Austria, until Austria finally requested a ceasefire.
Meanwhile, Bonaparte felt uneasy about the success of the Royalists in the spring election of 1797, And when the July coup d'etat against the royalists failed, he sent General Pierre Auger to Paris. In addition, Auger raised the prestige of Bonaparte greatly by launching a coup d'etat on the 18th day of Prédidor, fruit months, to drive out the royalists from the government and legislative branch. And Bonaparte was awarded Austria under the best conditions. The Comte-Formia peace treaty was signed. The French Directory was dissatisfied with the treaty, as it handed over Venice to Austria and failed to occupy the left bank of the Rhine.
However, the popularity of Bonaparte, who gave France victory after 5 years of the Continental War, was at its peak. Now the war was being fought only at sea against Britain, and the French Directory, who wanted to invade England, ordered Bonaparte to command the troops assembled in the English Channel. However, he was not to attack Britain until the French had taken control of the seas, and instead embarked on an expedition to Egypt to deplete British resources by occupying Egypt and blocking the route to India.
It was around this time that the Egyptian pyramids were systematically excavated by mobilizing 143 archaeologists. Expeditionary forces occupied Malta on 10th June 1798 and Alexandria on 1st July 1798, and the Nile Delta soon fell. However, after being completely defeated by the British fleet commanded by Horatio Nelson, at the Battle of the Nile on August 1st, Napoleon is imprisoned in the land of Egypt that he had conquered. Moreover, in September, Turk, the sovereign of nominal Egypt, declared war on France. Imprisoned in a beleaguered state, Napoleon marched into Syria in February 1799, intention of preventing the Turks from invading Egypt and returning to France via Anatolia.
However, they were stopped at Acre by the British Army, who had naval power in front, and in May they began to retreat to Egypt. The Battle of the Nile showed Europe that Napoleon could be defeated, and Britain, Austria, Russia, and Turkey formed a new alliance against France. In the spring of 1799, the French were defeated in Italy, and most of the Italian peninsula was abandoned. The defeat caused commotion within France as well. In a coup d'etat on the 30th of Prairial, the moderates were overthrown and the Jacobins took power. The situation was still chaotic, and one of the new governors, Emmanuel Size, believed that only a military dictatorship could prevent the restoration of the monarchy.
Recognizing this situation, Bonaparte left Egypt on August 22, 1799, and arrived in Paris on October 14, 1799. With only a few men in an attempt to save the Republic and seize power. At this time, victories over Switzerland and the Netherlands spared France the danger of being invaded, and counter-revolutionary riots within the country had almost subsided. However, Sieyès and Bonaparte led a coup on the 18th of Brumaire in the 8th year of the Republic, removing the governors and disbanding the legislature.
3 presidents, including Bonaparte, Sieyès, Pierre, and Rose Ducos, would create the presidential system. But after that, Bonaparte would purge them one by one and monopolize the government. A war broke out again, making Bonaparte emperor. When a British-backed royalist conspiracy to assassinate him was revealed in 1804, Bonaparte was determined to take strong measures to ensure that such a plot would never be repeated again. Enguin, Duke of Enghien, who was from the Bourbon family and lived quietly in exile in Germany, was falsely charged as the culprit of the conspiracy and was arrested with the consent of Talleyrand and the police chief Joseph Faucher. After holding a simple military trial, he was brutally shot and killed in the Moat de Vincennes castle on the same day.
Faucher changed the lifetime ruler to Bonaparte and a hereditary system. In doing so, Napoleon suggested that he could restrain the royalists' hopes of overthrowing the regime through his assassination. Bonaparte accepted the proposal and proclaimed it on May 28, 1804. The governing structure changed little, but Napoleon, as emperor, created several institutions similar to those of the ancient regime.
To establish legitimacy and prestige, on December 2, 1804, the emperor's coronation ceremony was held at the Notre Dame Cathedral in the presence of Pope Pius VII. You can see the situation at that time in the painting The Coronation of Emperor Napoleon by David. In 1804, royal titles were given to members of Napoleon family, and in 1808, the imperial title system was established. Thank you for watching Napoleon, the video provided by History and Current Events so far. The narrators so far have been contributed by Leah, Emma, Helena, Olivia, Kate, and Tony. Napoleon Part III will be available soon. Thank you.